Okay. In our last adventure, we left off on the wall section. I did make a mistake here. If you notice that my wall section is not under wall sections, it's under building sections. You can see right here, oops, no big deal. If that happens, you don't have to delete the whole thing or anything. You just go in here and say, yeah, you know what? Now watch the browser, watch it carefully. If I change this to a wall section, watch what happens with the browser. Gasp. So it created a brand new folder and it put it in the folder where it belongs. So if you put it in the wrong spot, it's no big deal. That part's really, really easy. Okay, so our play today is we are going to even zoom in a little more. We're going to deal with areas, like this area right here. There's more going on than what we see right here, believe it or not. So we have more detail, smaller stuff that's kind of hard to see at a scale like 1/2 inches a foot. So the process, like I was explaining kind of in the beginning here, is you start with the building section, right? And that's, at a scale, gives you kind of a rough idea of how the thing's going together, but really you're not going to see things like anchor bolts and rebar and nails and screws, little stuff. You're not going to see that. There's no way you can see it at this scale. So then they dial in. They go, okay, well, we're going to zoom in a little more. And we're going to get more stuff. The wall section is generally where we show all the details on the wall, hence the name. And, start to get some of that detail going on, but not all of it, because some of it at the scale you just can't see. Like a nail, for example, you can't see it. A piece of rebar, maybe an anchor bolt, maybe, but it gets kind of hard to see. So what we do is we dial in even more. So let's see. Let's go into this area right here first. We're going to do this kind of together here. So on your wall section, right, you'll put it in the right folder. It says section 2 call out 1. Remember, keep that name. Now, I want to say on this thing, did we not give it a smarter name? We said, oh, we didn't, huh? Let's call this something smart. So when it goes on the sheet, it's something smart. So this could be what? What would we call that? What is this? Wall section. Whoops. And what are we cutting through at that particular spot? Where are we? Do we know? So yeah, wall section at, I'm just going to take a guess here. East wall at family room. So we're just kind of describing, where that wall is. Oh, I didn't do that wrong, did I? There we go. All right. Are you with me? Now, is that exactly where it is? I don't know. It's wherever it is, right? So you guys, you might have to go back to your building section and say, actually it's through the study and the living room. So I got pretty close. Make sense? So we know where we are. Okay. So we now have the wall section. So now what we're going to do is we're going to dial in even more. We're going to go in and we're going to go to view and call out and rectangle, just like we did before. And this time we're going to do a detail section. Now watch the browser as I make the detail section. We're going to just kind of go right around here somewhere, get that whole kind of bottom where the footing is. I'm going to choo-choo train this around a little bit here so it's out of the way. I like doing little elbows like this. They look easy to see. By the way, you can double click on this little guy and it'll straighten it. Little trick. They want the elbows there. They don't want them to look like, like that. Okay. So, you kind of get it like that, get it straight. Now, is it on the sheet yet? Absolutely not. But we now have a detail section. And it will tell you kind of where it came from. So we want those to be smart here. We don't want it to see, Fred's section at whatever. We want this to say what it is in the browser. Now, do we see our stuff? Detail components, say no. Not there, huh? So let's go back to the other view. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did on the building section to the wall section. We're going to do the same thing, wall section to the detail call out. I'm going to window in, get anything I can get. I'm also going to hold the control key down and pick that and that. There's a detail line in here too, which I'm going to probably have to get in later. Are you with me? So I've got everything. I'm thinking I get the insulation too. So you can hold the control key down and pick, right? I'm going to copy to the clipboard. And then I'm going to go back to that detail and paste, align to same place. Now I guess that did come over pretty good, huh? I was thinking that line didn't come over. It looks like I got that part, but I didn't get the one across here. Agreed, the vapor barrier. So I got to go back to the section here. Let's just go get it here. No problem. Get it. Copy to the clipboard, back to my detail, paste, align to same place. So if I was to turn the line weights on, I can see that thing. All that work. Some people don't know about that trick and they go in there and they have to do it all over again. Really stupid. Okay. Plus this is all accurate. So I would like you to do the exact same thing. And then under detail 0, let's go ahead and call this exterior footing detail, right? And then let's go ahead and create a sheet. Let's see, right click, new sheet. Well, let's see, that's A603. How about A604 here? Hey, that's right. And that detail should be at 1 inch a foot. I'm pretty sure it is when it comes in because it always doubles. Boom. Now, do we have the annotation stuff in there? Nope. Why is the annotation not there? The one we did on the wall section. You know what I'm talking about? Why do we not see this stuff, which we should have got? Let's find out. Let's take that. Let's see if that's just, remember the annotation crop box? Remember that thing? Talked about that last time. So just, watch out for that. There's no reason not to get the stuff that you did in the wall section as well. Okay, let's go ahead and make that footing detail from your wall section. Even if it's not completely done, just go ahead and create the detail anyway. You can put the stuff in later and then fill it in, if that makes sense. So you want to be in the wall section. Oh, give me 1 sec here. Hold on 1 sec. I got something wrong with my. There we go. All right, Caleb, what do you got? What about all your sections? You have some, right? You just don't. Do you know which ones they are? Okay, so if you don't want those, just delete them. They're just you're right. That's exactly what they look. No, these are different callouts. Did you right click and just duplicate it? Hold on. Yeah, I think you did. So just delete that. You don't need that. So Julian and Michael, since you guys were out, right, you may not have turned in that last assignment. If you didn't, Okay, then put it in the building section revisions folder. So I see it. Don't put it in the regular one because I won't look there. And will. It's view, call out, rectangle. Hit it. And then you're going to come over here, and which one is it going to be? The correct answer. Yeah. Anyone have trouble getting that footing detail set? Make sure could you create a sheet for me real fast and put that thing on there once you've got it created. Deal it. Okay, let's open this up. Let's just see what you got here. Okay, yeah, you're right. You did. So let's see, probably one of these callouts, right? So this one right here is a detail, right? So that one should be exactly. And then you'll notice that now there is a new folder. Now, which one is your wall section? Is it like over here somewhere? Yeah, so go ahead and change that to A. Exactly. And then you'll notice that Revit knows and puts a new folder. Yeah, when I first learned Revit in the very, very beginning, I didn't know that trick. And it was like, oh my God, I went back and made it again like an idiot, and then didn't know that you could just change it out. Okie dokie. Throw a save on there. And then open your book, the Revit book, to page 389. Page 389. That one right after 388. All right, watch out. Okay, get rid of that. So I'm taping this because I got like 8 people out right now. So I've shown you this already, right? We've already gone through this list, check, 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 right? So you guys, before you turn this in, you're going to want to go through this and just make sure that you've got everything that's on here. I tried to clarify what I wanted annotated on the drawing by doing it in caps, if that helps. So you know that those are things that need to be on your sheet, right? As you annotate the thing, right? These are just what should be there kind of stuff, right? Okay. And then we did the same thing with the wall section. I tried the same thing to give you capitals for the stuff that, that I wanted, literally annotated on your wall section. Well, here we are to the footing detail. So this is our first one here. And again, the stuff that's capitalized are stuff that I'm going to want annotated on the drawing. So what is this stuff? Well, let me pull this over here. Let's start with an anchor bolt. So an anchor bolt, in fact, before I do this, let me just show you something here. You're going to be doing this. I'm going to show you this first, I think. Let's go to the X Drive Labs Brown Read Only. And if you go to architectural details. So your challenge today on your building, here comes, is I'm not gonna be able to detail all of this because y'all have different buildings. You have different sidings and stuff like that. You have different, connections depending on your building, right? So I'm gonna give you a resource. And I really like this folder for the resource. Your job is to find what you need to find in this folder. Let me show you. So if I go to architectural details, you're gonna do the same. I highly suggest you do this after I'm done. I'm just going to pick on the first picture here. Don't worry about that right there. That's just basic stuff. And, it's just going to come up with a picture. And it's a picture. This is sort of what we're doing. Not quite the same on the bottom. Obviously, we have a slab foundation. But this is, kind of pretty much what we're doing here. We're stacking our, floors on top of each other. We got a little truss sitting on top here. There's some advanced framing techniques that you're going to see as you do these details. So just kind of follow it the way I've been showing you, but there are different ways to build a house. And if you get into the field and you guys go all in, you're going to find different ways to build a house, just what it is, right? So I'm just showing you one of many ways. Just keep on going here. Some of you have a brick on the outside, and there's going to be pictures on how you're going to detail it. Anyone have brick siding on the outside of your house? Yeah, exactly. So you'd be looking because there's issues here. I will help you with it, but these are the pictures on how it's going to look. Brick, by the way, does not attach to the house. Oh, who knew that, right? They have these little connectors here that attach the brick to the house. And then there's an air gap there. You'll notice that there's a footing addition there to rest the brick so it doesn't sink into the ground. And so it goes, and you're going to be looking at these things. There's a really good picture there. That's really good for the people doing brick or stone outside. And you're going to have to adjust your footing a little bit, but it's really easy. And then they have these ties here. So it's basically they attach the wall to the wall. Some of this is very advanced. These are some of my books I use for my green building design class, where they're really getting into the weeds on how to insulate the house better and make it perform better. Some information right now. Some of this stuff is not applicable to the way we're modeling our house. Like this is a traditional framing where they're kind of niching in the roof. We're not doing that. We have a truss and it sits on top. It doesn't niche in. So be careful on that. Don't use that particular detail on the cornice. All right, you are going to have a cornice detail, but it's not going to look like that. I'll show you what it looks like later. Actually, yours looks pretty darn close to that, doesn't it? Okay, back we go. Forget that. When you guys put your finished floor on, we're going to have watch my hand, we're going to have a wall and we're going to have a second floor going into that wall. Remember that area? We're going to detail that. And I'm going to want to see your finished flooring on top and the base molding all in the little area. Okay. Good afternoon. Okay. And then here it goes. And, some of the stuff that, might help you with the way the building's going together, like ours, not like ours. So it, kind of a lot of it is what it is. Some of it you won't use, some of it like that's pretty good. When we do our footing, I kind of go up an angle. You'll see different ways of doing that. Again, different ways to put it together, but this is, pretty much what we're doing. This is having the rigid insulation go all the way down here. This is for cold areas, like if you're going to build a slab foundation in Wisconsin or something like that, you've got to insulate the footing. Otherwise the temperatures cause havoc, but we're not doing that. Okay. And here we go. Some of the stuff we're going to be doing today. That's really helpful right here. That's pretty good for what we're doing. Hint, hint. Let's see. This is also a very good one for the one we're going to do here in just a second. In fact, I might even have that up as I continue on this particular demo. You might want to consider getting some gutters in, because that's something that should be in your roof. Again, we're not doing it this way. Again, there's different ways of setting the roof on top of the wall where they niche it in like this. But when we do trusses, it doesn't do that. It sits on the corner. Again, just different ways that buildings can go together. This is also kind of what we're doing here. See the sill, the caulk right there? There's caulking on that sill plate right there. That's something you guys are gonna have to talk about. The drop in the grade, the wire mesh, the whatever material you've got on top of the floor. This is pretty good. This is an anchor bolt right here. I'm going to show you here in just a minute. What they basically do is they attach the wall to the footing and they screw it on. Literally, it's a bolt that sticks up from the concrete, and they drill a hole in the sill plate, and then they drop that wall right on it, and then they screw it on. So in theory, you could take the bolt off and then pick up the house and move it somewhere else. They don't generally do that with slab foundations. It's a little bit kind of not so even, but they do it with regular floor houses. You can do it, they do it all the time. Okay. Let's see. Another pretty good picture there, kind of showing the anchor bolt and all that stuff. So just pictures. I'm going to go a little faster now. Hey, what does that look like? See the concrete curb there? That's the garage, obviously, right? Probably, or patio. So definitely a garage, right? Because that's a curb. So that's definitely a garage, right? So that's kind of what it looks like. There's your anchor bolts. They have tension rods sometimes in these things. Talk about the roof a little bit. This is a really good picture, a really good detail if you're doing stone siding. Some of you have that. You have to have that little ridge right there, and that's what it should look like. Don't worry if it's not perfect like that. I'll show you I'll show you how to make those, by the way. It's not hard. Let's see, and so on. Different ways, different materials that go on the outside. This one's got a couple different sidings on the outside. That's a pretty good shot for those of you doing stone. Kind of flipping through these kind of fast now. Let's see. There's some of the trusses that are out there. There's a whole bunch of different. Again, you guys don't worry about that. This is for somebody else in another field, right? So let those truss manufacturers figure that stuff out. That's all theirs, right? All we're doing is we're showing that bottom, that bottom ceiling part, and then the rest of it's up to them. That in between part's up to them. Let's see. So those of you who are doing tile roofs, he pauses, tile roofs, clay tile. You guys are going to have these battens in here. This is your building paper, and then these battens sit on top of that. And notice that they're kind of crisscrossed. And what they do is there's little hooks on these things, and the tiles kind of hook on those. And that's what keeps them from falling down. You always wonder why don't they just fall down, right? Well, because they have these little hooks on the tiles. I used to have those, but I threw them away. You might want to consider when you do your roofs to create that, that detail, right? These 1x2 battens. That means that's an inch thick and then 2 inches, wide. So if you're going to cut a section that, you'd see the battens and you see the roofing on top of it. Hint, hint. Okay, I think that might be a couple of the details. That's a really good one in that cornice area. Really good one. Okay, so your resource. Now let me show you how to put the stuff together. So when we have these details, we're going to add things like, for example, we're going to have this, remember the anchor bolt I showed you where you screw the building onto the concrete? We have to go get it. I am taping this, by the way. Some of this is a little deep. I'm going to go to annotate. And I have to remember some of this stuff too, because it is buried. Component, detail component. We've been here before. I'm going to do that because I've been doing this a while. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and load family, and here we go. Let's see. English Imperial. It's all under details or detail items, all that 2D stuff. But then it gets gnarly because there's a crap load of folders in here. I'm looking for an anchor bolt. I think it's under metals, common work, metal fastening. See what I mean? And I'm looking for an anchor bolt hook side. It's an anchor bolt. Now, when it comes in, it's going to come in really big. So that is way too big. So the anchor bolt we're going to use is going to be a 7/8. I've got it in the notes. Look at my notes on the other screen, the fourth one down. What does it say? Fourth one down. 7/8 anchor bolt. Then what? Yeah, so I'm going to take that 7/8 inch anchor bolt, which is a lot smaller than the other one. Now, unfortunately, with these anchor bolts, they don't have flip arrows on them, but there's a trick. Watch this trick. First off, I'm going to set it so that the washer is on the sill plate. Now, to flip it, you're going to do a mirror, and you're going to go ahead and pick axis, but there's a trick on that. If you don't copy it, if you copy it now, what's going to happen? Watch what happens. Is it kind of just like that? So what you're going to do is when you modify and you mirror pick axis. Whoops, missed it. Mirror pick axis. Stop it. Why is that doing that? Mirror pick axis. Maybe I have to pick this first, huh? There we go. Uncheck copy. And then when you pick it, it'll flip the right way. Now, how deep is it? We said 20 inches, right? I think there's a depth thing on that. So it says the hook length. The length is going to be what I say it was, 20 inches. And it kind of sits like that. This thing sits right on the sill plate. So far, so good. So that's the first thing. It gets better. So that's your anchor bolt. So then you would take that, right click. Whoops, God, I can't get anything today. Highlight that, right click, copy. And let's do a detail. Text. 330 seconds. Let's do the crinkle arrow. Let's pick this little guy, get him up there, and then Control V. Okay, that means that every 6 feet along that footing, they're going to put one. Next, we need rebar. Rebar is that kind of tubish looking steel that's solid. You see it everywhere in all concrete and all that. And we are going to have a couple of them. Number 4 rebar. So let's go ahead and get some. I'm going to do 2 of these and have you guys jump in. Annotate. Component, detail component, and here we go again. Having fun. Let's see. I'm going to go back here to detail items. So where do I find that rebar? Let's see. I think it's under concrete. Reinforcing steel. Reinforced bar section. When you do this, it's going to bring them all in. And which number did I say it was? Number 4. So I'm going to bring in a couple of them. You can put these pretty much wherever you want. I see them set up different ways. I see them set up like this sometimes. I see 4 of them sometimes where they'll do something like this and like this. and like this and like this. I think a lot of it depends on, you know, the engineering and all that stuff. We'll go and do it like that for now. By the way, on the rebar, what does that number 4 mean? Let me show you. It's how many 16ths it is. So number 4 rebar is 4/16. 4/16 is a quarter. If I was to change that to number, let's say 7, then it would be 7/16. If I was to change number 8, it would be 8/16. Does that make sense? That's a Skills USA question too also. All right, so number 4. So again, it all depends on the structural and all that stuff. A lot of this is pretty common stuff. And then here we go. You got to find a way to get it in there. So number 4 rebar, right click, copy. Let's go ahead and do a text, crinkle it. I'm doing it just the way I want it. And then we have the Douglas fir pressure treated sill plate. We have already put that in. It's already there. Let's see what else we have. We have the vapor barrier. Copy. Oh, let's see. Where shall we put that? You know, like maybe like right there. Control V. You know, you have to just get a little creative and just keep it out of the model. Try to get that little crinkle going there where you got the little end. Try not to go straight. Try not to do stuff like this where it's straight down. Get a little angle on that. These are hard enough to see as it is. Let's see. Is that it on that one? I think that's it on that one, right? Oh, no. Well, missed one. Welded wire mesh. Didn't we do that before? Didn't we do the dashed line across here once upon a time? Okay, well, let's go get it because I don't think I brought that over. I must have missed it. So let's go back to the wall section. Ooh, the wall section doesn't have it either, huh? So let's go back to the building section. And there it is, right? So let's do that little trick. We're going to copy to clipboard. We're going to go back to the wall section and we're going to paste a line to the same place. And then we're going to go here and we're going to do the same thing. Paste, line to the same place. Since it's still on the clipboard. Make sense? And then we got one more note. So that's going to be the welded wire mesh. Copy. And let's see. Oh boy. Oh, it's always fun this way. Let's see. I guess probably like just have to get kind of creative, you know, it's going to be up here somewhere. Control V. Just got to find a good spot, you know, again, try to keep that out of, if possible, keep it out of the building. Sometimes you can go the other direction. We really want to try not to do that. So something looks like that. Kind of take a peek. It's like that needs to get a little closer, doesn't it? Any questions on that? Now, notice I'm not doing the actual wall materials there because I already did that on the wall section, right? So it's really kind of redundant. Don't need to. So those are the things that I want on the footing detail. Okay, I'd like you to bring in the anchor bolt and the rebar, and then you'll place them kind of like that. Again, they're all in annotate, component, detail component. And then where it gets gnarly, it's going to be in detail items. So it's either going to be under concrete or metals. Those are the two that help you. Yep. 389. Got one more for you. General. Brake line. Check this out. This is kind of cool. Remember masking regions? Remember masking regions where we kind of hid stuff? What this thing basically is just that. I'm going to move this out just a little bit like that. We want to break that. So check this out. Annotate, component, detail component. So that's a brake line. I'm going to spacebar it. What it does is it basically creates a masking region, but it gives us that little brake line. Pull this back a little bit. So just kind of ends the detail like it, okay, it's continuing. That little break line is very common really in everything, drafting and engineering and architecture and so on. Yes, it keeps going on and on and on, but we're stopping it there. All right, in theory, you could do the same thing going down. And then lastly, let's go ahead and just turn off that crop region so we don't see it. So on that sheet, yeah, looks something like that. Give you a good peek there. I think everybody's is the same now. Some of you have some stuff going on over here. I will talk about that later. For right now, don't worry about it. Okay. All right, let's do it. Probably Thursday when I'm all done because we have a couple more to do. Yeah. Thursday. Yeah, by the way, those of you who want to do, who turned in the building sections but didn't like your grade, want to go back and fix it, you have until Thursday to do that. Yeah, so take a look at the red lines and see what I said and make the changes. I do have a folder for the revisions. So that's where I would want that. Is there somebody in here who has a stone or brick exterior wall? Got a couple here. Okay. Let's see. Let me just do a little checking here. Will, could you? That's what I want right there. Okay, never mind. That's what I want to see. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something. I'm gonna do it on Will since he's right there in front of me. All right. So again, this is all being recorded because I'm completely aware of the fact that a lot of this stuff is kind of in the weeds, and it's like you can't find something. You can always go back and look at the video. Let me go ahead and show you Will. So here is, I've showed you that detail before, right? How the the stuff down here kind of drops a little bit, right? So there's a trick. And oh, he did it separately here. He did this separate. This is okay. The way he did this is fine. Is this just like going up a little ways? Yeah, this one's a little too easy. Let me get somebody who's got a little harder one. Imad, you said you had something brick or stone. Let's see. That's horizontal siding right there. I'm looking for somebody who's got brick on the outside and they got a space. Anybody have that? Brick or stone as an exterior wall. Really? No one has brick or stone on the outside as their exterior building material. Ben, let's see yours. Nope, sorry. That's stucco. When somebody gets that, I'll do a demo on it. All right. And I'll show you how to do that detail, but I don't have anybody who has the right one yet. Okay. All right. Let's try this differently. Watch out. Like I said, I'm recording all this. Don't sweat it. This is one where I'm going to maybe have you guys rely on that a little bit more. I just want to show you how to do it. And then just memorize where all that stuff is. I couldn't go slow enough to make that happen. All right. It's all about how the software works. So like I said, we create the building section. And then we drill into it, like I was explaining, right? And we annotate the crap out of it and get all our detail components that are reasonable size. We did things like masking regions. Some people miss that on your details, by the way. So make sure that stuff like that is gone. And then we drill into it again, right? I'll pull this out just a little bit so I can see that. And then we need another one here. So the next one I'm going to have you do is this second floor to wall. And you would be off your wall section there. So I want to see this stuff. Now, in this case, doesn't look like that masking region is there. Agree? I'm going to put that in really fast. Annotate, region, masking region. I like doing it with which one? Invisible lines, right? Otherwise it creates lines, and some of you did that and it didn't look very good. I'm going to make a rectangle there. I don't want to cover up those lines. So I'm just going to get it really close there, but not quite touching. Again, really close, but don't go there because then it covers up the line. So just right, really, really, really close. So we don't see those. Green check and boom. And so we don't see that portion that isn't there. It's just too hard to model it, to make that work. Some of you who tried to make this stop and then start again, you saw the issues with that. All right, next one, view, call out, rectangle. Back to detail again. And we are going to get this area right here. Okay, let's see if I can dial that in here. Oh my goodness. I'm going to move that up just a second here so I can get this out of the way. Choo-choo train that up a little bit. Double click. Didn't quite get there. Double click. All right. So there's my next one, right? So if I go to the view, do I want to do that first? Let's see. I can do it that way. I'll go to the view. Notice that everything's there, right? So we have to go back to the view. Let me close some of these things here. Is that the one I want right there? Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and get some detail components. How about that? And what else? How about the insulation? That looks pretty good, right? Maybe get that guy there. I'm not sure if that's going to be in play or not. I guess we'll find out. We'll get that insulation there. Pretty much anything that's 2D. Be careful and make sure you're not getting any like wall or floor or anything like that. It should just be the detail items and the text and stuff like that. All right, let's copy to the clipboard. Let's go to the detail and paste, align the same place. Okay, so let's see, what are we looking for? This is called a band joist right here. So I would like you to change that to band joist. That's the outside part. Actually, we have another, you know, let me undo that. I'm gonna do it a different way. I'm gonna take this. I like that to be pointing to these. You guys see where I'm going with this? I want the band joist to be on the outside, but I want to point to these as well. Okay, so I want this, again, our band joist is right here. That's the outside one. So let's see, let's go ahead and go to, I don't need to type that one. So let's see, annotate, text. Notice I'm lining these up. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? We have 2x6s, which we have. So that's good. So that's already there. The APA rated plywood that we don't have. There's an organization that rates plywood. So it has to be correct, you know, interior grade plywood. So I'm going to right click copy. Let's go to the plywood there. Okay, what else do we have here? There's going to be material on the top of this thing, which you haven't done yet. I'm going to put oak here, but it's not going to be, it's going to be whatever you guys have on your top. So right now, what I'd like you to do is just kind of set it up and get it ready to go. Does that make sense? I'll be pointing to the finished floor material, whether it's carpet or tile or whatever happens to be there. When you do this, there's going to be a baseboard in here. Does that make sense? There could even be like a crown molding up here for some of you, depending on who, you know, where you are in the building. So that's all stuff that will come in once you guys model it. Right now, just kind of do it like that. Let's see. And then, oops, I didn't do that very well, did I? And it could be something like this as well. It could be, you know, again, something like, could be, you know, an engineered plywood finished floor. It'll be something like that. I gave kind of examples. Whatever you want to do. Does that kind of make sense? Some kind of a finished floor sitting on top of that. Just kind of squish it all in there. I want the break line. So we'll move that just a widge, and let's break the break line's already there because we loaded it earlier. Let's see, component, detail component, break line. I just had it. I think it was on my mouse, wasn't it? Yeah. And spacebar. And now this is again, it's a masking region. So just make sure it's going the right direction. And it kind of trims it out. You can turn off the crop region. And you have yourself a nice little detail. It should be at 1 inch a foot. And this was pretty easy. And so then that would be dropped on the sheet as well. Detail 1. So what is this? Detail 1. We're going to call this thing. Second floor. What? It was a living room, wasn't it? I don't know, something like that. Just, get something that's reasonable. And then let's go ahead and put it on sheet. Whoops. Ta-da. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that one. Go ahead and create it, even if you're not done with the other one. Just trying to get it all kind of started, and then you guys can go in there and detail them out. Again, even if you're not done with the other one, do that one while it's fresh in your brain. I forgot one, huh? Let's see. I have a couple of mistakes on mine. Let me get your question in just 1 second here, Brian. Hey guys, let me show you something. One more thing. I got 2 mistakes on mine that I would like to show you. Let's see. Watch out. Sorry, I'm just looking over mine going, wait a minute now, there's a couple of mistakes here. First off, this right here doesn't happen because that plywood goes all the way across. So this right there, that gypboard is not correct. So I need a what? Masking region. I'm going to activate the view and let's get in there and mask it. Again, just up. Just got to make sure you don't touch that line, otherwise that crosses it. So I just zoom in really good here. These masking regions are very popular, by the way, in Revit, because we wanted to show the way it's supposed to show, right? And so that shouldn't be there. The other thing I didn't do is I didn't put the ceiling information in there. We did have a ceiling on the bottom side of that, so you should be annotating that. So I just added this. Copy. And let's see, go something like, yeah, something like that. Control V. I don't like the way it does it on top like that, but that's what happens. So, all right. If you figure out how to fix that, let me know, because I've never figured that out. All right. So get that correct. Now see what happened with the line. So it's kind of depends how close you get there. See how it kind of ins and outs a little bit. So I might have just maybe moved that up just a little bit, so it doesn't cancel out my line. No one's going to see that little tiny bit there. That kind of makes sense. You can't even see the little tiny out there, but I don't want the line to go away either. So you can zoom in and out a little bit and make sure it's working okay for you. All right, sorry about that. All right. Okay, Brian. Let's see. View. Yeah, okay. Yep. That's okay. No, we're just gonna do it somewhere else. So what you're gonna do is just do it over here. Yep, it's not a problem. So what you're gonna do is just gonna go ahead, just do it like it doesn't have to come after. It doesn't have to come from the original wall section. So do it like this. View, call out, rectangle, detail, and then just do it, like right there. And it's the same rules and all that stuff. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think so. I have some people. The next one we're going to do is going to be on the roof, and I have some other people have the exact same problem you have. Is they have to do it somewhere else. Yeah. So this is actually a floor problem. So your floor is wrong. That's okay. Do you understand that? Good. So we're going to edit the boundary. We're going to go to level 2. Let's turn this to a black and white. You want to drive me to the area? Exactly. So that looks okay. Where's the section cutting through? Oh, okay. Let me go back to that section. Let's see. So this is the section, right? Okay, I got it. Okay, I understand. Okay, wow, yeah. So we're gonna do it somewhere else. Okay. So we're gonna do it because it's quirky there, right? It's not a problem. In fact, that was just what I was doing with Brian's. Just come over here and do this side because it's correct. So then just go ahead and go to view and call out and rectangle, and then you can do that like right here. Not a problem at all. It'll be the same routine, the same the same junk, same copying to the clipboard and all that. You're just going to get it from a different spot. Yep. Okay. So region, masking region, invisible line. That's fine. Were you doing it that way? Okay, so let's see. Oh, I think I know why. Let's see. Bring to front. That's weird. They have properties to these things. Let's see. What is it? Is it send back to front? Bring forward. Oh, I know why. See this right here, visual style, hidden line. You're in a see everything mode. Okay. Yep. Trying to trick me. That's why videos can never replace me, right? Yep. I did the demo. See the way that goes. It is under common work. Yep. And anchor bolt hook side. No, you're looking for rebar. Yeah. Sorry, wrong place. You want to go to concrete and reinforced bar, or reinforced steel. And then the last one. That's the one. And then we want to do number 4. There you go. Pick it up. Caleb. Are you missing a line? No. I don't think so. Let's see. No, looks like you're doing all right. I don't see any problem. There might be one that's transitioning from the ground to the to here. What probably happened on this is you probably made these with invisible lines. Let's see. So, you know, if you want to see those lines, which I probably would, then I would make those. Yeah, give it a line. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yep. Wait, hold on one sec. That cart went by. Go ahead. Just make sure that on page 389, that you have everything that's bold. Does that make sense? That's capitalized. Okay. Jared. Oh yeah, that's not right. Okay, so that's okay. It's not really the end of the world, but yeah, we definitely need to fix that. Agree? All right. Well, let's start with the floor, right? Because that's definitely not where it's supposed to be. Agree? It's supposed to drop right here. Agree? Right there, not here. Right where my arrow is. Right there. I'm going to put a reference plane there just to show you. Right there. That's where that thing should be dropping. Okay. I'm going to call this drop just for giggles. Are you with me? We're going to use that reference plane as kind of a helper for us when we go to the floor plan, okay? Okay, so that floor is in the wrong spot because you probably moved a wall or something like that, so that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and edit the boundary and go to level 1. Okay, well, let's see. We are right here, and there is our drop right there. Take this. That's all. You just kind of, you probably moved this wall at one point, right? You still have an issue here you need to kind of fix up. Agree? I think this wall probably I would be moving, if that makes sense, so that they line up, because you wouldn't want that little jiggle jaggle there. All right, let's finish it. Let's go back to that. You want to go back to that section? Is it this one? So now a little better, but now the foot is in the wrong spot. Agree? Okay, so that drop right there should be at our reference plane. Agree? So let's go ahead and edit place. So pick it, edit in place. I guess we get that unjoined. Pick it, edit sweep, sketch path, level 1. So basically the location of it's just in the wrong spot. Pretty obvious where it's going to go, right? So I'm going to go ahead and drag that down to here. And then hopefully that's kind of where you drew it. I guess we're going to find out, right? Finish, finish, finish. I know. And then let's go back to the section view. We're almost there. Now we got to fix the garage, right? So, and boundary. So again, when you move the wall, just create some havoc, you know. But you see the technique, I guess, for lack of a better word. So there it is, right? In the wrong spot. Should be there. Now you're gonna have to fix this because that's not what happens, right? You're gonna want this gypboard here to line up with that gypboard there. Does that make sense? Okay. Green check. But the section is going to look beautiful. So now we would go in and we would just join the geometry of these three guys right here. So modify, join geometry. I'm going to pick this floor and that footing. See how they kind of meld? Pick that floor. Yep. Beautiful. Now you're gonna have to move your, your ground around a little bit, but that's easy, right? So you just kind of take that ground and just kind of, you can stretch it and move it around and stuff like that. So it's, it's in the right spot. Does that kind of make sense what I'm doing? Now let's do, while we're here, because there is still one more issue that's in the elephant in the room, and it's this wall right here. Not digging it, right? Because it needs to be lined up, right? That little jiggle jaggle is not a good play. So I'm going to move this back a little bit. It's going to get pissed. Oh, maybe not. All right. So then we're going to align this and that. Does that make any sense at all? Okay. And then we're going to pull this together. Now what that's going to do, sorry, is that's going to, I'm going to do that very well. Let me try that again. Sorry, I aligned that poorly. There. So again, the gypboard should be lining up. See that right there? That's what we would want to see. Now, unfortunately for you, is that now is in the wrong place. Does that make sense? So that's okay. We'll pick that footing. Let's see, where can we get that? Just need to see the footing so we can change that garage curb right there. Because this could be the wrong spot, on that back side, because I just moved the wall. So this is fine right here. That's perfect. But on the other side, it's not going to be. Edit, pick it. Pick it. Come on now. Come on now. Finish. Edit in place. Pick it. So I'm not, sorry, something's not what I'm expecting to see. There should be a sweep right here, right? View. See how they're off? I just need to move it. Edit in place. Pick it. I do not understand that. I'm just going to make this again. I have no idea why that's not going into a sweep. There it is. Edit sweep. That's really weird. Sketch path. I wasn't getting that. There we go. Okay. So let's see. Where should this go? It should go to the face of the core. It's because we just moved the wall, right? That was just me messing you up. That looks pretty good there. And then recheck, and recheck. So now that should be in the right spot. Just because I moved the wall. Does that make any sense at all? Now, I did notice, you might want to figure that out. When I did go to this section over here, I did see some weird stuff happening, which you might want to consider fixing. Just saying, there might be a problem there. Possible. Looks like, I don't know, top offset. Looks like you went to level 1 and then you went 9 feet. You want to go to level 2 with a 0. Does that kind of make sense? I'm not sure how you got 9 feet there, but you might want to look at those and make sure that that's more like what it should be, right? So, wheel around. That might be somewhere else. You might see that same kind of condition there. All right. Throw a save on there because it's a really good idea. And then I'm going to jump in and I'll get your questions. Okay, well, look out. Okay, so the next one I would like is, and it's not on here, I would like the garage to house detail. So where am I going to get that? Well, let's see. If I go to my wall section, I'm not going to have it there. So wall section, agree that garage to house is not there. It's not there. So we have to go somewhere else that has the garage to house footing. So where is that? Well, let's go back to the building section. Any garage to house there? Say no. Let's go back to section 1. Any garage to house there? Yep. So you can get these details from any section, and some of you have been doing that because the wall section you might not have had the detail we wanted. So this one I like because this one has what I want. So this I want you to create view, call out, rectangle. We're going to detail this. Again, I like putting these things so they're out of the way. We start getting some of the detail in there, you're not going to want some of that in there. Okay. So what belongs there? So let's go ahead and go to the view. So there's our detail. So what are you going to do with that? Is there any insulation in there? Let's go back to the detail section. Oops, wrong one. Let me just, let's see, which one is it? No, I'm going to close some of these that are not in play. Not in play. Agree we have insulation there. So, whoops, I'm going to copy clipboard. Paste same place. Whoops, I'm gonna leave that there because what am I missing? Let's go back to, it's like I'm missing the 2x, right? Copy to clipboard. Paste in place. What do you think else? What else do you think goes there? Look at that over, look that over, look that over. What goes there? The anchor bolt. Very good answer. Annotate. Detail component. Now it's already loaded, so you're not gonna have to chase it down. It's gonna be there. Anchor bolt hook side, 7/8. How deep does it go? What do you think? 20 inches, right? So these don't snap very well, unfortunately. I'm gonna pick that 20 inches first though, because I know it's gonna change. 0 space 20, and then let's move it down. You can get in the weeds there and get really, really precise, or, just kind of use the align tool there. Okay. What else do you think we need? Yep. Rebar. Correct answer number 2. So we're going to go back in, annotate, component, detail component. This is what the professionals really, really, really want you guys to understand is how to do this, because so many students leave high school and college without knowing how to detail at all. And it drives the professionals mad. Okay, what else do we need in there? Yeah, all that stuff. Vapor barrier, gravel, what else? Earth, what else? Mesh, very good. All these are right answers, right on the spot, right? So some of it you can get from the section, and some of it you can't. It just is what it is. Some of this it's not going to be there. Should it be there? Yeah, probably just like the other section, right? Although I'm not going to be super concerned about that, but yeah, I need everything that's supposed to be there. Any questions on that? So you just basically put it together the way it goes together now that you have this new information. Does the gypboard come all the way down? It doesn't actually. When you go through the door and you drop into the garage, that gypboard just kind of, there's a threshold that kind of melds in there, and it kind of hides that gap right there. Okay, and then I got, let's see, another one I want you to do. I'd like you to do the garage curb. The garage curb. So this detail would be the, let's see, we're going to call this. This is going to be the, what, garage to house? Let's go ahead and put that on a sheet while we're here. I know it says detail 2 there, but let's go ahead and put that on the sheet. Now that's not big enough because I got it off the building section. So I'm just going to activate the view and change that to 1 inches a foot. And let's go ahead and turn off the crop region there. So far, so good. And then I want the garage curb. So let's see. Is there a garage curb? Yep. And so it's the same deal. We're going to go annotate. We're going to go, whoops, we're going to go view, call out, rectangle, make sure it's a detail view. I'm going to go a little faster now because I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Get this out of the way. You know what's supposed to go there, right? So there's going to be insulation in here, anchor bolt, welded wire mesh, rebar, earth, ground line, all that stuff. Oh, you're right. Sorry, it's a garage wall. I take that back. There is not. So no insulation. Yes. Would this be a treated sill plate? Absolutely, because it's touching the concrete. Let's see. So let's go ahead and set that up. So this is going to be 1 inch a foot. I could have probably copied and pasted that 2x in there, and then that is going to go on the sheet. Again, I'm just going to get this kind of set up the way I want it. Now, if it says nothing on the bottom like that, that's not acceptable. I need an information on that thing. You're going to do it by title on sheet. Let's see, what is that? The garage curb? Got one more. I got 5 of these that I want you to do. And then the last one's going to be a little bit tougher one here. I would like this area right up here. Now you can get that off that first section if you want. It just depends on whether you have it or not. Some of you don't, and you need to get it somewhere else from the building. There's several of you who have kind of funky, like where the roof hits the ceiling up there. It's not quite like just like mine. So it's not a good view. So you find a spot in your building that's a good view. Does that make sense? I know that there's some of you who, if you go to your main building section, the one that's on the sheet. Is it that one? Yeah. That up here is not really a good spot. Didn't get that nice clear thing. So you're just going to get it from somewhere. That's a good spot. Now on mine, it just so happens on mine, if I go to this view, that I just happen to have some good stuff on mine. So I'm going to make a detail section of that view, call out. But again, you don't have to get it from here. But I would prefer to get it from here because I've already got some information there, huh? Gonna get like that. Pull this up. Whoop. Pull this up. And this is where, you're going to pull all this information in there. So if I go to this is number, whoops, did I do that right? Yep, detail. I'm going to go to the view. There it is. I don't have my stuff. So let's go get it. Let's see. What do you think? Something like that. Get all this stuff here. Get that. Maybe even get that right there. Maybe get that and that. Even that maybe. That one may or may not come in because it's not within my area there. Let's go ahead and give that a shot. Anything else I'm missing in there? Is there a masking region in there? It's not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that to the clipboard and then go to here and paste a line to same place. Now, is it done? Nope, but it's really kind of coming along pretty good. That's where you want to go back to the folder that I gave you. If you guys remember the folder, what does it look like? I'd like you to go to that architectural details folder, and then you can start, hunting for how that thing is going to look. There'll be pretty good pictures in here. Like if you go back when you're doing the footing, that's really helpful there. Let me find you a picture here. Thought I had a pretty good one in here somewhere. Like that right there is pretty good. I had a few of those that were good up in that area. Yeah, that's really good right there. That's the one I'm looking for there. So, you'll find your details in there and then use the technique that I gave you to make it happen. And let's see, that's detail 4. This is a cornice section. So, what do we call this? And then, of course, that's going to go on the sheet. So your sheet, when it's done, will actually have 5 details on it. The exterior footing, the floor to wall, the garage to house, the curb, and the cornice. Okay, all detailed with all the stuff that's in there. Obviously, this is not done yet, but this is probably a good time just to lay those out so you have the 5 on there, then you can start attacking it. Yep. 9:15. I'm so funny. It's gonna be Thursday. Yeah. So I don't expect you to have this done this period. Hey, I don't know. You might be able to have it done by 9:15, but probably not, right? Okay, let me just sort of save on that. And it's on you. I'm recording this, so if you run through it, it's like, what did he do at that spot? Just give it a 10 or 15 minutes until the recording is done.